How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Casper with us tonight, and she can say her name, what she does, and all that jazz.
What's up, guys? My name is Michelle, and I sing and I play guitar in Casper, and that's my brand new alt rock, pop rock project.
There we go. Well, again, Abby coming in clutch with another fantastic band, so I'm very excited to have Michelle and her band Casper on, obviously. So much salutes to Abby.
Shout out to Abby.
She's great. And also shout outs to Chris Russo of the band High Wind. Love that dude.
He's the best. Chris is the best.
He is the best. Man, what a bundle of energy he is. But he also had mentioned to have you on. So I want to give the credits where credits are due, certainly. So and of course, huge thanks to Michelle for coming on. The first thing that I asked Michelle, just to kind of get familiarized with you, certainly, how did Casper come to be? Obviously, I know you play guitar in Chris's band High Wind, but what was the makings of wanting to start Casper? Have you always kind of been in a musical family, grown up in that way, and then just kind of continued on that path? Or just give me the whole, I guess, Michelle/Casper anthology story.
Sure. Yeah, so I've been doing music, gosh, I don't know, I guess like probably for about 15 years now.
Wow, awesome.
And I've just been in and out of a lot of different bands and different projects. Always really, really loved playing live shows. And then about 5 years ago, I put out original solo music for the first time.
Very cool.
And then after that, I went into the covers world because I'm in a couple of different cover bands.
Very nice.
I play out at different events and weddings and things like that doing covers. And so I spent a lot of time after that original music came out. I kind of like switched gears and went to cover band stuff. Just kind of knowing that eventually I would get back to originals. And then I'd been in and out of a couple original bands in that time. Mm-hmm. And then I was just getting like frustrated that this one wouldn't work out and that band didn't work out and this song, creative differences and whatnot. So I was like, you know what? I need to reinvent. I need to start from scratch and I need to have a thing that's completely mine. And other bandmates can come and go. I knew I wanted to give it like an umbrella name.
Sure. Yeah.
So I started writing probably about a year and a half ago for this new project.
Very cool.
And then went into the studio and I have a collection of songs ready to go. And so I'm just starting the whole thing from the ground up. And I didn't want to put out the music as Michelle Gorman anymore. Like I did that. I wanted to just like do a brand new thing, a brand new title. And bandmates can come and go if that's how it ends up happening.
Sure. Yeah.
But right now, I'm the only official person in it. So that's the story of Casper.
There we go. I have to give you a lot of respect as someone that obviously is the face, the man behind the scenes of doing this channel, Audio Addiction. I think it's difficult because whenever I have like a solo artist on and they're like, yeah, I used to be in bands and just either it's creative differences or like they wanted to just steer the ship. And sometimes that, when you have other members in a band, you're like, well, I don't want to be, I don't want to be mean. I want to, try to understand what they want to do. And then again, that kind of comes with the creative differences, but trying to find out what, you want to accomplish as an artist. And I obviously respect your decision for wanting to, go under the name Casper and just have this like rotating cast of like people and hopefully, I hope the cast you have now remains, but, obviously life happens certainly. So, but I think it's cool because, a lot of the times, like I said, when I have solo artists on, it's a little bit like, they're like, man, I really love being in a band too, where I was just like, I could just kind of like do my piece or whatever. And then, kind of like let it be what it is. As opposed to obviously where it's like mostly you fronting it and kind of having people, give their thoughts and opinions on it. Certainly, I think it offers a different flavor, and so obviously, hope best of luck with your current members. And then, kind of the follow up question, Michelle, you did mention you had been in a different a couple different cover bands and things of that nature. How do you kind of find that line between like creativity where you're like, man, I like to work on my solo stuff, slash band stuff, and then you're like, oh, well, then I play cover songs and cover gigs or weddings and stuff like that. Do you find like creatively it taps into the same sort of like creativity, or do you mostly are kind of like, okay, I play these songs that they give me, and I just kind of like enjoy my time just playing other people's songs?
Yeah, I really enjoy both. I actually like I have a fair amount of friends that seem to just do one of those. So like
Sure,
they're
yeah.
either in original bands or they're just in cover bands and doing like the cover band live circuit like that. Um, I don't have a ton of friends that do both, but for me, it's just like so satisfying to do both, to play songs that I really like and
Hmm.
that get people to respond because they already know them. Like, it's so cool to like be at a bar, a packed bar, and like, all right, if it's like older people, I'm going to do more classic rock. If it's more younger people, I'm going to do more like radio hits currently,
Sure,
top
sure,
40 stuff. And it's just so cool to like create a good time, a good atmosphere, because that's really what my job is.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Depending on like the gig and the event and stuff, but like if it's just a bar gig, my job is to make sure everyone's having a good time, and like that's great. I think that's better than that. So I really enjoy like selfishly getting to play um, covers just because like that's how I started. I feel like that's sort of how a lot of people start. Like you learn by learning other people's songs.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but then like my musical appetite is also fulfilled because then I have originals as well. Um, like and I'm in like a couple different things. I'm just in some of my friends are like they can't even keep up. They're like, what band are you today? What are you doing tonight? Um, but I can say as far as like live shows go, I will not be doing any Casper live shows anytime soon. Um, I think I'm just gonna keep it an internet thing until it can't be an internet thing anymore.
I got you. I got you.
Or
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. So whenever I do post about a live show, it's either going to be about a high wind live show or or a cover band live show
Sure.
because that's all I have going on right now. So it's super cool to be able to do both. Like it's very satisfying originals, but also get people to respond by doing covers. So yeah, it's a fun time.
And I think it's cool because like obviously I've seen some of the stuff with High Wind, and obviously I think you get to fulfill some of that, like you said, musical appetite of playing live and playing other people's music, and then doing the cover thing where you're like, okay, these are songs that I either grew up playing or are very familiar with playing, and other people obviously know those songs, and you want to keep the energy of either the bar or whatever gig it may be going. And so I have to see like all of the sides, and I kind of attribute to, and funnily enough, High Wind had played with them, Bill Murray. I feel like he initially was
Yes.
very much like a solo project. I wouldn't even say solo project. It was very much like a studio project that he just wrote material for a long time, and then people were like, yo, are you gonna play some live shows? And he's like, I don't know. And then he started playing like around Columbus and stuff, and I was like, all right, well, I know he's gonna start playing some live shows. And then he started playing live shows, and now he's killing it. So gotta give him props. But I kind of find that when you had mentioned that earlier, I was like, okay, she's maybe trying to do the like, I'm trying to build up the internet following, and then if there's enough people that are like, I want to see you play live, Michelle, and then you're gonna be like, all right, I guess I gotta start doing it, and then you just start
Yeah.
gigging with Casper.
Yeah, that's sort of, you kind of nailed it. That's sort of like what I'm going for with Casper. And I feel so good about it too. Like, I feel like I really got to create, like, with this collection of songs that I have ready, I
Hmm.
feel like I really got to make what I wanted to. And it's like super authentic to me. And I feel really, really good about all the songs. So if other people like them and it ends up like getting bigger and people want to hear these live, then I'll do it live. But for right now, I'm just going to build it up. And then the live stuff, like I have other avenues right now. So I'm not like dying to play shows. Like last night, I played a cover gig. I have a cover gig again tomorrow. This is like the first Saturday that I'm completely off because I'm normally booked on the weekends. Since I do music full time, I'm constantly playing cover gigs.
Sure.
And I fill in with this Irish band, and there's an Irish festival this weekend. And I had these dates on hold for like a couple months now because they thought they were going to need me for it. But they ended up not needing me. So like I have Saturday off, and this is wild. Like I don't have to get ready for a gig right now.
Well, I'm glad you have made time for me, Michelle, you know, and you're
No, thank you
incredibly
for
busy schedule. When you had said you were like, I'm in this band, I'm like, oh my God, like you guys have like this much time to just do you. So I'm glad that we could spend some time together, you know, obviously talking about your music. So, but the next question I have for you, Michelle, you know, obviously with Casper, I had just checked out Composure, which I'll leave a link in the description. Go check it out. You know, how, you know, in terms of like influences, I kind of had a chance to listen through to the whole thing. I'm curious what your influences were, like starting out, like young Michelle, learning guitar, learning how to sing. What were some of the artists that like initially like drew you into doing this? And then who influences your sound more currently, you know, in terms of the bands that, you know, influence your styling?
Wow, great question.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, the bands that like I and the artists that I liked when I was a kid and like that drew me towards music heavily influenced Casper still. Um,
Okay. Okay.
okay, so I feel like as a kid, like I really liked Avril Lavigne
Yeah,
a
I could
lot.
have gotten that. Yeah.
And to this day, I still love her so much. I think that she's so cool and she plays guitar and she sings and it's like I feel like I relate to her a lot and she's a big influence. Um, but like early 2000s pop punk and emo, honestly,
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
huge influence, just like overall. And I think you can hear that in Casper now. So I'd say as a kid, oh, also, I started playing guitar partly because of Avril Lavigne, but also because of the Jonas Brothers. I'm a huge Jonas Brothers fan.
Okay. Okay.
And I remember
Same.
like being a little kid and like hearing them play instruments and that feeling that it gave me. And I was like, I need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
Avril Lavigne and the Jonas Brothers probably. And then like pop punk bands and emo bands like My Chem and Blink 182. The the standards were huge. And then more now, I'm listening to a lot of State Champs. I love
Ooh.
State
Yeah.
Champs
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I have I have one song in particular that I'll put out at some point down the road that's like very heavily influenced by State Champs, and I would love if they got to hear it and I could like tell them, they inspired it. That'd be really cool. So I think those are some artists that influence me right now.
Well, listen, guys. Like I already can tell Michelle and I are going to be good friends, but you should definitely, you know, when that song releases, you should, you know, add State Champs on Twitter and then just keep tagging them. You know, I can't force you to do it, but you know, I can, you know, gentle nudge, you know, just, you know, in the right direction. So I feel
It's
like,
funny because I like always swipe up on their stories or Derek's stories, and I'm always like in their DMs, but they have yet to respond to any of my DMs.
well,
But I'm
listen,
hopeful.
I use what little internet clout I have to try to make it happen. Um,
Let's go.
But I had listened through Composure, and I was like, if she doesn't say Avril Lavigne, I'll be very surprised. I feel like most people within that age bracket and like, you know, obviously within the alternative music scene would, you know, would argue for that. Certainly, you know, I as well grew up listening to Avril Lavigne as well, so I can say with, you know, with the surety that she is, you know, still very good now, just as much as she was before. Um, but I'm trying to think. I definitely, it's crazy in terms of like the guitar work because obviously you can tell over here I have a guitar. Um, I feel like for myself, the influences that immediately came to mind was definitely Avril Lavigne, number one. Number two, I would say, especially Composure, I would say more or less than the other songs that I have obviously haven't had the chance to listen to yet. But I would say Blink 182 definitely. I can hear like guitar influences in that aspect. And then the last one, man, I want to say it's got like a smidge of like State Champs, just because I think there's like hooks about it that, especially once you get into the chorus of like Composure, that I'm like, okay, like this is probably gonna stick with me for a little bit. So I do appreciate how much as I get older, I'm like, man, I love the old school like pop punk, but as well as the new, because I feel like I don't know about like pop punk bands recently, but somehow they have like the hooks on point, and so I feel like I always get like locked in. And even with like the newest like State Champs record, I was like listen through it, and I was like immediately involved in it. Like I was like, yep, this is gonna be in my probably my favorites of this year. And I'm not like a heavy State Champs listener. I would argue that their best record still is the Finer Things, but fight me in the comments if you want. um but I feel like this one is a very close second for me. I would argue the newest one, Kings of the New Age. Like that was like
Hmm.
they hit that nice mark between like there's some pop hooks, there's some like classic like State Champs esque songs, and then they had a few features that I was very surprised with, like Chrissy from Against the Current.
I went to high school with Chrissy.
What? That is so
Yeah,
cool. That is so cool. Wow.
yeah. I wouldn't say that like we know each other personally now, but I had a couple classes with her in high school, and
What?
it was like we went to an all girls high school, and I felt like me and her were the only two girls at our school that like were into bands and like were in bands and things like that. And I remember she had, at the time there were five of them in the band, and
Yes.
we played a talent show, and I remember it was her and two of her bandmates like performed and did when they were like starting out. And I
Wow.
remember like meeting them and stuff, and but like the other bandmates, like they're not they don't live too far away from where Chrissy and I went to high school in Jersey, but um it was just like so cool. And then I, at the time, like I had a bandmate, and me and my bandmate performed at that, and like it's just so wild.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy. Like,
Wow.
and she's out there killing it. And yeah, so that's my story about Chrissy, that we had Spanish class together, and like it was just
What?
very cool. I'm
Oh,
very
that's
happy
so
for her.
cool. Oh my
Yeah,
god, that's awesome.
I know. And she
But
actually, so I just went to Sad Summer Fest, and they were originally on the lineup. I don't know what happened, um, but like I was like super excited to see them and like go in the crowd and be like, oh my god, like I went to high school with this girl and her
yeah,
band
yeah,
was
yeah.
huge. That would have been really cool. But I don't know what happened. I'll have to catch them next time they come around.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, and I know they have like a new album that's gonna be coming out pretty soon, from what I saw at least.
Right.
But yeah, I like, and then they have 4 Years Strong, which is one of my favorite bands of all time as well. So like, they already have me locked and loaded. And the one artist that I wasn't really sure about, but is actually one of my favorite songs off the record, was they have like a country artist. I forget his name, unfortunately.
Mitchell Tenpenny, I think, is on
Yes,
it.
I think you're
Yeah.
correct. That one, the hooks, the hooks, Chef's Kiss. We love it. That one. I'm thinking about the song right now, and I can hear the hooks in my head. So that's how I know it's like a good song, is when you not don't even know the song, you can't even remember the song name, but you can remember how the hook goes in your head. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit crazy, probably, but But yeah, I love
Oh
that
yeah,
song. Love that song. Love that album. But I feel like I feel like Casper collectively kind of feels like a mix of like old pop punk roots, stuff, and then has some modern, like modern pop punk, modern kind of alt sound. So nice mix.
oh,
I like
thank
it, Michelle.
you. Thank
Digging it.
you. Yeah, that's so funny. Whenever I show people my music, I'm always so interested to hear like who would you say like for fans of like that
Sure.
sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
thing. So that's interesting. I like all of those though, so that's
Okay.
great.
All right. What have you, if you don't mind me asking, what have you gotten before? And then I'll see if I can corroborate that.
Um, Olivia Rodrigo, one of my friends told me.
Okay. I
Um,
could I
I
could see
think
kind of. Yeah.
I think maybe only like certain songs of hers, but I wouldn't say like overall that we're that similar. Um, Another one of my friends said Avril Lavigne,
Of course. Yeah.
Michelle Branch.
Ooh. Okay.
I
Okay. All
got,
right.
I got Hilary Duff as well, and that I didn't really see as much. Um, and then let's see, I got Against the Current.
Yeah, I could see that certainly.
Um, and then of course you always get Paramore because any female in any sort of rock genre is always Paramore, which is like super cool.
Do you find that to be a little cliche though? I find like whenever there's a band within that like alt kind of pop punk scene of music, I find it, especially if it's not close. Like I could understand in this context it could make sense, certainly, but I sometimes think that like in certain instances they're like the band could be like more in that like post hardcore kind of direction, and they're like, oh my god, you sound like Paramore, and I'm like, no, it does. I don't. I don't think it sounds like Paramore, but I mean, again, different strokes for different folks. But I don't know what's your take on it, Michelle.
I I'm fine with it. I mean, I think everyone like interprets music in their own way, so if I take it as a compliment. I'm like, that's pretty cool. The only time I don't like it is when it's typically a male that will try and say it to like curry favor with me because like they just assume that everyone is in love with Haley Williams, and I am in love with Haley Williams. That's
That's
correct.
fair. Yes,
But they try
agreed.
and like name drop like, oh, I'm a really big Paramore fan, really big Haley Williams fan, and I'm like, well, I am too, obviously, but like that's not gonna like get you anywhere. Like I had literally like a month ago, I was texting Dan from Highland.
Shout out to
Um,
Dan. Love Dan.
shout out Dan, and I was telling him I was like, oh, I'm just talking to this new guy right now, and he used to be like play in metal bands and whatever, but he doesn't do music anymore. And I was like, we went on one date, and so like we're chatting, we're texting after the date, and he said something. Oh, he said he texted me the next day, and he was like, by the way, you look like the singer of Paramore. I was like, you couldn't even look up her name, and second of all, you don't know her. Like, and so I screenshotted it and I sent it to Dan, and Dan was like, no second date for him, no second date. Like he couldn't even take 5 seconds to Google her name. Like he couldn't do that. So there was no second
Please,
date.
I just want to PSA real quick. Side note. Don't don't do that. That's no.
It
Just
just
don't do
wasn't a
that.
compliment of substance. He was like, you look like the singer of Paramore. I was like, I don't think I do look like Haley Williams, though.
I mean, only the fact that you have like orange hair, like that would be the only maybe indication that I would kind of even still, I feel like that
Yeah.
wouldn't that's not anyway, PSA, don't do it. Don't do it to Michelle like that. Have more respect. I have more respect for Michelle to say that, so I wouldn't say it. So if I wouldn't say it, I would hope you wouldn't say it. But we're gonna move on from that that great story. I appreciate it, Michelle. Which is my next question. I always love asking this because I am a junkie for finding new music. So I'm curious, Michelle, what are you currently listening to? What are you jamming? What's on the Spotify? What have you been
Oh
listening to
man.
lately?
Let me actually pull up my Spotify.
Feel
That's a
free to
great.
pull your phone out and
Um,
tell me what you're listening to.
let's see. Okay, well, North Vale just put out a single yesterday as well. Runaway. I've been listening to that. That's cool.
They're coming
Oh my
on
gosh, I have Gwen
future interview.
Stefani. Yeah, they're super cool. I just met them recently. We had a bunch of mutuals, and I saw them play live. Like, they're rad. They're really cool.
All right, good to know.
I have Gwen Stefani in my recently liked. I have a Holla Back Girl.
All right, okay.
What
Respect,
else am I listening to? Oh, the new A Day to Remember single, Miracle. Um, I've got Lolo in here.
Ooh, okay.
Of course, State Champs.
Yes.
Um, let's see what else. Just like random. Microwave is in here.
Ooh, yes.
Gail. She had that big song on TikTok.
Yes.
And then a couple Grayscale songs. So yeah,
Ooh,
I see.
okay.
Are you a Grayscale fan?
I do like Grayscale. They're. I think it's funny. I did a review for Adornment, and then I also did one for Nella Vita, and it's just crazy how they kind of transition from like more of a pop punk band to more of a like pop rock sort of band, and I think they did the transition pretty well. And then they have Umbra, which is the newest one, I believe, if my memory, the noggin's working. Um, but I feel like they have a way of creating hooks much similarly to like State Champs that I think even if they, obviously aren't really in that punk space anymore, I still really respect their music. And I go and listen to some of their, obviously the old stuff, the new stuff, and I think it just gives me more of an appreciation of that that changeover album of Nella Vita, because I didn't like it initially, and then I think now as obviously Umbra has come out, I think it kind of gives me more of a perspective of being like, okay, well that actually not isn't that bad of a record comparatively, because I think that the way that they transitioned into the next series or the next kind of genre of what they're doing, I think they did pretty well. So I would say I really enjoyed it. Excited for new material. I think they have. I think they had another single come out pretty recently, I guess. But they're a tight band. I've seen them live a couple different times, and it's always fun to see them. So I 2 thumbs up. Love New
Two thumbs
Grayscale.
up.
But Lolo, I'll have to. That name sounds familiar, but I don't think I actually have. Like I've seen it pull up on like some of my like listening things like on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll have to actually go in and give it a listen, because I think were they on Sad Summer? I thought for sure
Yes.
they were. Yes.
Yeah. I had a couple of her songs just like come in on my recommended on Spotify and stuff. And so I didn't even realize that I was listening to her. And then I saw her at Sad Summer, and I was like, oh my God. I know these songs. Meanwhile, I just thought, I was like, okay, great. The opener, I'm going to hear some songs I don't know. And then I was like, wait, I was singing along. I was like, I know this song.
That's the best feeling.
Cool. And then when I put Composure out, and I was gonna like make it like a playlist or something, and I maybe will in the future, but of putting like my older stuff maybe like right after Composure and like posting a playlist, but
sure.
I didn't. So I just posted just the single, and like that's the link that I've been posting about. But after Composure, it was really funny. I don't know what the answer is to this, whether it's just my account or if everyone's is sort of doing this, but I listened to Composure when it came out on Spotify, and then right afterwards, when it was like, what is that title? Like playlists or songs relevant to Composure.
Okay. Yes.
Whatever term is on Spotify. A Lolo song came on right afterwards.
What?
And then a Stan Atlantic song, Yours Truly, and like
nice.
A couple other. I was like, okay, that's interesting to know. I guess the algorithm like put me together with other female rock-ish
that's
type
great
of artists. Yeah. So
love to see it.
Love
to see it. So guys, again, go follow Casper /Michelle on Spotify so you can get recommended some great female fronted artists. You know,
Let's go.
yours truly, great. Stand Atlantic, great. Lolo, have to check out, but probably also great. So gonna give the recommendation beforehand, but I know it's probably good. So, but yeah, thanks for the recommendations, Michelle. I'll have to go give it a listen. The next question I have for you is very fitting because you are, and you probably have been in a couple different cover bands. But if you collectively, you know, under the name or moniker Casper, were to cover a song, do you have any in mind?
Whoa. Whoa, that's tricky. As Casper. We keep talking about state champs, but I probably do a state champs song.
Okay.
Yeah, I love them so much. Like I wanna meet them. I wanna like someday do shows with them. They just seem like they're so cool. And I love their music. So I would probably do that. I'd probably cover a state champ song.
Any in mind?
Maybe I don't know. I'm totally blanking out right now. I'm like, oh, it's a Saturday, I'm off. I have no idea.
Everything's out of whack for you.
Maybe an acoustic one.
Ooh.
Probably something off of Around the World and Back. That's my favorite album.
All right.
What is the name of that duet they have on there? I think, is that Around the World and Back?
I'm gonna
Around the World and Back this year.
yeah, I think it is, but let's I'm gonna verify live right now here. I don't know if it's like, yeah, it's Around the World and Back. It features Ainsley. I don't know if I pronounced that there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I would probably want to do that and like maybe get someone to collaborate on it with me and like do a duet. That would be cool.
That would be rad. I would definitely like to see that. Guys, if you have any suggestions for Michelle in terms of cover songs for Casper, drop them in the comments. I'm sure she'll check them out. Who knows? You might wind up seeing a cover from Michelle that is not in her cover band. This is a very convoluted question, but not cover band material, but her band. Never mind. You already know what I'm talking about. So I'm not gonna. You came here for Casper. That's why I'm just gonna tell you she's gonna cover a song under Casper. So, the next question I have for you, Michelle, another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat?
Oh my gosh, Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. I literally, right before this interview, I went on a walk and then I got Taco Bell and I was like, I'm all set. I'm also like viciously hungover. My song came out. My song came out yesterday and I had a cover gig with my duo. And I told my partner, Tom, who's in the cover duo with me, I was like, my song is coming out. I was like, we're celebrating. We're going out after the gig. And we did. And I got home very late. I was very hungover this morning. And self-care. I have the day off. I went for a walk and got Taco Bell. Like, what more could you want?
That sounds like a blessed day, I would argue, you know? So.
Do you like Taco Bell?
Oh, is that a question? You know?
I just want to make sure.
I love Taco Bell. Taco Bell, if you would love to sponsor my channel, I would do it. Then I'd have to get a follow-up sponsorship for like Pepto-Bismol. So, you know, just a dual collab, you know. So if you wanna make that happen and make my dreams a reality, that'd be great. Also, if you would love to give Michelle a sponsorship for Taco Bell, I mean, I'm pretty sure she's not gonna turn that down, you know. I would argue she, you know, who doesn't love some free Taco Bell? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'll put it in my next video.
Just product placement. You just have.
Instead of like eating pizza for like, you know, the typical like pop punk food, instead of having pizza in my next pop punk video, I'll have Taco Bell instead.
That's great. We love it, guys. Just add Taco Bell on Twitter and then tag both me and Michelle on Twitter. We'd love to talk about. Listen, slide into those DMs. We'd love to work something out. I'm just saying, you know, this is like emo Shark Tank. You know, I'm ready to make your dreams reality. You know, so you can have like 25% of my YouTube channel if you sponsor. So very cool. I'm glad Michelle and I have bonded over the love of Taco Bell. You know, I think it's brought us only closer together. So, guys. If you
Yes, you can learn a lot about a person by whether they like Taco Bell or not, and what their order is too.
All right, what's well, we might as well talk about it now, Michelle. What's the
Let's
go-to?
get
I need
into
to
it.
know. I need to know.
Okay, Crunchwrap Supreme, cheesy gordita crunch. That's like normally my order, but recently I've also been doing the Cinnabon bites that they have.
Oh, all right, all right.
Oh my god, they're like little donuts of amazing sweetness. So that's my order. Do you approve of my order?
I do. I do. So what I typically get if I go to Taco Bell, I get the box. You know, you got to get the cravings box, you know. So if I don't get that, I usually get the Crunchwrap Supreme, and then I always get the spicy potato soft taco. Underrated. Not a lot of people get it, but 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Love that.
All right, I'll have to get that next time. I'll have to try that. I've never had
And if you pick any other drink of choice that isn't Baja Blast, it's the wrong answer. I'm sorry. That's when you go to Taco Bell, that's the only drink they have. Okay, so I don't make the rules, but that's how it is. So
That's it.
Michelle and I agree, guys. Let us know what your Taco Bell order is in the comments. I don't know why I'm asking this, but we're just gonna do it anyway. So, the next question. I love how that's what it transpired to. I'm so proud of us, Michelle.
Well, people are actually going to put they're going to be like, they don't care about Composure, they don't care about the song, they don't care about Casper. They're going to be like, yeah, I get a Crunchwrap Supreme. That's what the comment section.
I mean,
is gonna be.
honestly, when you had said that, I was like, man, I'm not saying I'm hungry, but you know, who could turn down a Crunchwrap Supreme? I think that's, you know, the superior move here. So, guys, if you're watching this today, when it comes out, let's all order Crunchwrap Supremes today. The next question I have for you, Michelle, if you were to pick a dream collaboration, who would you like to feature on an up-and-coming Casper record/song?
Good question.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Oh boy, a dream collab. I love Avril Lavigne. That would be cool. I would love to do something with State Champs. I keep talking about the same people. Really. I think it would be cool to do. I like Neck Deep a lot too. I just saw them at Sad Summer. That
Oh,
would be
nice.
cool.
Yes.
I mean, and Blink as well just like holds such a special place in my heart because like they're such a nostalgic band for me. Or like Taking Back Sunday, like any band that I like listened to growing up. Oh, We the Kings. That would be sick.
Oh, wow. All right.
Especially because like Travis and like the whole band, but Travis especially, like I've met him a couple times at Warped Tour and whatnot, and like I love their music and he's just a really cool guy. So I think any of those would be like a good dream collab.
I would, you know what? I think I could see you guys. I could see We the Kings and Casper doing a collaborative track. So guys, again, I'm gonna harness the internet powers, the manifestation powers here. So if you wanna, you know, listen, if you wanna make Michelle's life, not only the fact that we talked about Taco Bell, which is, you know, god tier food, but also the fact that we could help Michelle out, do a We the Kings, you know, Casper collaboration. You go onto twitter.com or you go onto the Twitter app and you tag Casper and then you tag We the Kings and then you say collab ? And then the rest is history. You know, I'm not going to say, you know, I'm not a legal scholar. I didn't go to, you know, many years of legal school, but I want to argue that it's a legally binding document. A tweet could be, certainly. So, you know, can't confirm or deny, certainly, but I'd like to believe that's the truth. So if you want to hear that, you know, just gonna put it out there. Just put it out there. So that'd be sick. But seriously, you should do it. Do it. Thank you. All right, that was my TED Talk, guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna move on to the next question, Michelle, which is, one that I'm curious what your answer is on it. Obviously, you sing, you play guitar, and you probably play some other instruments that I'm not familiar with. But if there was another one you could master, what would it be?
The drums. Easy. The drums.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
such a bad drummer. I can keep time, but I think I'm just so stale. Like, I don't do anything cool. Like, I can do simple rock beats. And like I get it. Like rhythmically I understand it. Like I could like see it on a sheet of music. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But I just can't execute it. So it's drums for sure.
I feel like that's I feel like that's a common trope with guitar players. Like I have gotten I think since I have started doing YouTube, I think almost I would say a large majority of guitar players have picked drums. And I think it's just because we have the inability to match our feet with our hands.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. So
Yeah.
love for people to weigh in and let me know what your thoughts are if you play guitar. Is that the truth? Because it probably is. So that's cool. I do feel that pain. I will say, I am a masterful air drummer, so I think that if anything, nobody can beat me on the, no one can beat me on the air sticks, but, real drums, yeah, definitely, 100%. But, if you see me in the car driving in Pennsylvania, I'm ripping it, so
There you go.
just saying, the chops are strong. But, the next question I have for you, Michelle, I'm not sure if this is, I'm not sure if this question is going to land well, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I'm a huge nerd, so I love asking this question. If you could be a video game character, who would you be?
I would be Crash Bandicoot.
Ooh, I like that. All right. All
Yeah.
right.
This world just like seems cool. So
And you get to
I
spin
would be
around,
him.
you know?
Yeah, I would be him. I would like go on little adventures. I would hang out as Crash. Yeah.
All right. Honestly, went better than I thought. I wasn't entirely sure. I feel like, in the community, the alternative community, most people game, but, I wasn't sure how this question was going to land, and I think you stuck it.
I'm
So,
not a gamer at all, which is so funny because Chris and Dan and Highwind obviously are
yes,
gamers.
100%.
And they'll talk about this game and that game. And I cannot contribute anything to the conversation. So I think it's just a matter of time before they end up like making me play video games with them. Uh, so who knows? Maybe next time I talk to you, I'll actually be really into video games.
Well, that's what we can hope for, That's my ultimate goal is just to be like, low key, low key, gently, like, pushing you in the right, the gaming direction. So respect, So love the answer. Next time you come on, I'm sure you're going to have a very succinct answer for me next time. So that's what I'm going to hope for, at least. The next question I have for you, Michelle, getting back to the music stuff. If you were to compile a dream tour lineup, including Casper, who would be on it?
Okay, I have a controversial answer, especially for people in the rock world.
All right.
I would want to go on tour with Machine Gun Kelly. He's like,
I need some clarification. You could certainly say that answer, but you have to give me the reasonings as to why. So, all right, I'm gonna sit here and listen.
I really like him. I do. And I remember like during the pandemic, like he put out a couple like covers and whatnot, and he put out I Think I'm Okay in 2019. And like I know he gets so much hate, but also like I just saw him sell out Madison Square Garden. Like I just think that the hate right now is taking up all the space, but he has a ton of fans. Like,
I'll give you that.
Tickets to My Downfall, like every single song on there was awesome. And like there's a lot of like music elitists and music snobs and they want to like point fingers and this and that. And I'm like, "Oh, did you just sell out Madison Square Garden?" You didn't? Oh, you're in the same local band that you've been in for 10 years now and oh, got it. Right. Well, like, you're allowed to not like his music, but the way I see it is like, if you don't like his music, then just don't listen. Just don't listen to it.
That's fair. That's fair.
He gets a
Okay.
lot of hate. So controversial, but I want to like go on tour with him and party with him and Megan Fox. That'd be cool.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just Machine Gun Kelly. That's what we've landed on.
And, well, Avril opened up for him when I saw them at MSG. So I think the dream team would be me and Avril and MGK.
Fair
And
enough.
Travis Barker playing drums for MGK.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what? Listen, I appreciate your answer, Michelle. Certainly. I totally get it. 100%. I respect the drive, the intuitiveness of the answer. I personally am not a big MGK fan, but that's also because I don't choose to listen to him. So, I don't hate him on the fact that he's being successful. I think I had made a comment on it on a previous interview. So if you want to cancel me, you can't, because I've already, blocked, I'm like, blocked your comment. Not actually blocked your comment, just physically blocked your comment. But I had said that it's a good thing he's in this industry. And the reason why is because pop punk has been about as big as it's been, period. And I hope that it continues in that direction, because like alternative, all that sort of stuff is now more mainstream. And I would have to give at least a good sum of that credit to him. So I don't want to discount it. Obviously not not the biggest fan of what he does, certainly, but I can respect that bands that find out and listen to him, I hope they go down the same rabbit hole that I did when I found out about alternative music, and go find local bands in your town, or also, bands that kind of grew up in your city, whatever, and go out to see them if you can go out and see them. And that's my takeaway from NGK. Again, not the biggest fan, but I can respect what he does, certainly, as, an internet interviewer / reviewer / whatever. I think that he makes music that isn't particularly my taste, but I can respect the drive and the way that he's brought more people into the scene. There's more spotlight on it, and hopefully that is a good spotlight, because he does say some controversial things. So
Oh yeah, I never said that he was smart.
I'm not inferring that, certainly.
Sometimes you can't. There's one. I'm not even going to bring it up, but we all know, I think, which one it is that he said, and I was just like, dude. Just no. I was like, I can't even defend you. Like, I'm a really big fan. I was like, dude, I can't defend that. Like,
my favorite was the shoe one. That was the best one. Was that the same comment we're referring to?
No, where he said something about a really, really big rock band.
Oh, okay. I know which one that is. Go Google it. You know that one. But the shoe one was the one that got me. I feel like that one was the most hilarious one. Where
What's the shoe one?
He had said, and I want to give a shout out to This Wildlife, because they absolutely killed the marketing on that. It was so great. So he had posted, in I guess an interview or something like that, that he was just like, I don't understand why punk people don't wear like uncomfortable shoes. I just see them wearing the most comfortable shoes you can buy. You have to wear Doc Martens, you have to wear Converses, you got to wear Vans. Those are the shoes you wear on stage. You don't wear this blank blah blah blah. I'm not gonna say the words because I'm not trying to get demonetized or canceled off the internet, but he said, XYZ expletives, and said, you don't wear those shoes on stage. And then, funnily enough, This Wildlife had saw it, and they made I don't know if they made like a TikTok or something like that against it, and they were like, listen, MGK, you're a cool guy, I guess. However, we love comfortable shoes. And then they literally were like wearing like dad shoes on stage, and they're like, we just love to feel comfortable on stage. If we're on stage for like an hour or something like that, and we're standing and moving around, nothing's better than a nice athletic shoe. And I was cracking up, because they couldn't have picked the best time to say that, because then they went out on tour, and it just, shout outs to them. I gotta give them credit. They really killed it on that. But that if I can find the video, I'll slip it in here, and you guys can determine for yourself. But it was very funny. So if not, go look it up.
He would
It's
say
great.
something like that.
Yeah. And he was like in like the best part was like he was like up in the camera like looking into there, and I was just like, bro, like just chill out. Like, you know, it's about the music and not what type of attire you wear. Like, honestly, if like a band showed up in a romper and like, you know, some like, I don't know, some like New Balances, I wouldn't be like, man, that band sucks because their attire sucks, you know? that so he does say some very stupid stuff, but arguably, like I said, he brings people into the scene. So as long as people don't like go to a show and be like, you know what, they're poorly dressed, I can't like this band. That's all I'm saying. That's my TED talk again. Thanks for watching. The next question I have for you, Michelle. I loved your controversial pick. You know, I like that you took the stance and you really just, you know, you really stuck with it. So I got to give you credit for that. But speaking about, I guess I want to say controversial bands, but speaking about bands in general, I know that you have seen a lot of shows. But in your opinion, who puts on a great live performance in terms of bands you've seen?
A Day to Remember comes to mind right away. Yeah.
Did you see them most recently at the Stone Pony?
I actually didn't go to that show. So many of my friends went. I was booked on a cover gig. But that was like last weekend. No, I did not go. But I think, yeah, they come to mind right away.
Yes, they're great.
I've seen them several times, and I think they're like one of the most memorable bands that I've seen.
I would agree. I saw them at, it's been quite a while since I've seen them the last time, but the last time I can remember seeing them, I saw them at Self Help Fest in Philadelphia. And that was, man, they just closed out that show. Like, I mean, obviously, musically, they have kind of like, you know, went in a, you know, I feel like with more recent stuff, they've kind of come back to their original sound. But they kind of lost me for a little bit. But then just seeing them live was just like, I don't care what anybody says. They just know how to put on a great live show, like pyrotechnics, like lighting, all of this sort of stuff. It's just a wild show. So if you have the chance to go see them out on tour now, go do it, because they're a band to see live for certainly. So can't agree.
I agree.
Any others, Michelle, that you can think of?
I keep bringing Sad Summer up, but this was the first time that I saw State Champs live, which is crazy because like I'm a big fan of theirs. I had never seen them live, but that was a cool stage presence too. So I would say State Champs.
And where did you see them at? And you saw them in Jersey, I'd imagine, correct?
Yeah. I went to Asbury. I was at
nice. There you go.
Yeah, the summer stage.
Very cool. Very cool. I funnily enough, the interview I did yesterday, I mentioned State Champs in one of the craziest live shows I've seen. I saw them at TLA in Philadelphia, and there was, I think, Around the World and Back had just come out, or was pretty close. Like, it was not much longer after that album had came out. And I just remember I went with a couple of my homies, and the pit opened up, and everybody was like, you know, doing the two-step. And for whatever reason, I don't know why they decided to do it, but there was people that were crowd surfing or trying to crowd surf over the pit, which I don't know why you would do that, but I mean, hey, whatever, it isn't me. And I can only remember like half of the show because I keep remember people throwing people over the crowd, you know, like the mosh pit. And obviously, as you can tell, I wear glasses, so I kept almost like trying to like catch my glasses the entire time, and it was such a rowdy experience. So I gotta say they are a great band to see live, but then I think also the fact that just the people within the crowd are just as chaotic, I think that's fun too. So shout out to State Champs again. I met Ryan at his other band, which I also love, Speak Love. You should give them a listen if anybody has not listened to them. Very good stuff. I met Ryan, and he's a sweetheart, so shout outs to Ryan. Love you, dude. The next question I have for you, Michelle, favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Favorite TV show, I really love the Bachelor series. Right now I'm watching The Bachelorette. I'm like behind. I'm probably gonna just watch it tonight because I'm off.
As soon as we hop off.
But this season is wild because there's 2 Bachelorettes. It's like the first time they're doing that. So yeah, so I think The Bachelor or The Bachelorette for TV show for sure.
Fair enough.
Movie. I don't really watch a lot of movies. I guess I'll say like Twilight. I don't know.
That's fair.
I don't really watch a lot of movies, so it's hard.
I feel like that was the wrong question to ask, just considering how many bands you're probably a part of, and you just don't have the time to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna sit down and watch like a 2-hour long movie. You just don't seem like that type of person that you're just like, man, you know what, I just want to like not do anything. You know, I'm very much the same way where I'll be like, I was literally the other night, I was like editing some videos here at my computer desk, and I had the TV on, and I was just watching a movie, but I wasn't even really watching it. It's just like white noise that I put on the TV to just be like, okay, this is nice. And then my cat was just like meowing at the TV as he normally does.
Oh.
And I would love for him to make an appearance, but then I feel like he is just going to constantly just be a menace. So shout out to my cat Meatball. Love that dude.
Meatball.
Yes.
Meatball the Menace.
He's a chonk. He's a chonk man. If I can try to get him at the end of the interview, I will. But good choices. I obviously do not have any stake in Bachelor or Bachelorette, fandom, but I do find that some of the clips wind up making it on the internet, and I just think it's just very meme worthy sometimes. So
it's just a wild show. Like, it's so entertaining. If you want just like mindless entertainment, put on The Bachelorette. It's great.
That was like, I watched, oh man, it was so bad. It's not called The Circle. You probably know what show I am referring to.
Oh, like another dating show?
It was like a dating show where you couldn't see each other. Like,
yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, it's Love is Blind. That was the other show that I watched, and God, that was a train wreck. It was terrible.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's like, I contribute those types of those types of TV shows. They're like a car crash that you can't look away from. You're just like, cars keep just like driving into this pit of like a bunch of gasoline and fire on it, but then like the other person behind that person didn't see the car, and it's just like, oh well, this is infinitely worse, and we're just gonna keep getting worse as the season progresses. So I hope I offended all of you. I don't mean to, but that's how I view the show. So
okay.
Also,
however, I have to say,
okay,
like all of those like Netflix dating shows, whatever, they're not good.
They're not. No. Yes.
However, I will say the Bachelor and Bachelorette franchise is like the Gucci of dating shows, I would say.
Okay.
And I think I'm pretty well versed.
That's fair to say. You would be the most well versed between the two of us, I'd argue.
Yeah. Probably.
I would hope so. Obviously.
Just like I can't speak about video games, but you can speak about video games.
Well, thank you for, giving me that authority to be able to speak on, video games. I feel like I am slightly versed in the video game sphere. I wouldn't be asking a question about it if I feel like I was, a little less knowledgeable about it. So I'm appreciative of, I should just put Michelle Gorman, Bachelorette aficionado in this title here. So Casper. I'll find some way to just word it hilariously. But anyway, the next question I have for you, Michelle, if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be?
Whoa. I would probably choose Folklore or Evermore by Taylor Swift.
Ooh, okay.
Either one of those, because the songwriting is just insane. The way the songs are crafted. She's so talented. She's so smart. And I feel like those albums are no skip albums.
Ooh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I would do Taylor Swift, and I would get into like my Taylor Swift, I'm a witch type zone, and like just be on this island for a month. It'd be great.
There we go. That's a great answer. I like that, Michelle. Again, I don't listen to a ton of Taylor Swift, but I did listen to those two records. And as a non-Taylor Swiftie, or a Swiftie as most people call, the fan base, I was like, this was pretty good. I would argue that it was like very much not what I was expecting of her. And again, my knowledge of her is very limited, but other than the fact that I used to work retail and that, all of her songs were like literally beaten into my brain.
Hmm.
But I think I had a lot of hostility for her, again, because I worked retail. But I think because I don't work retail anymore and I don't listen to her 24/7, I think it was cool to listen to her records, certainly. And I think she does a very good job of like writing super well. I think especially with the two newest ones, I would say the writing on it was like much better than I thought I was expecting from her and like what she does. So I got to give her
Hmm.
props. She's definitely better. I had in the office that I work at, they said they had a question. They were like, would you rather choose MGK's discography or Taylor Swift's discography? And I was just like, is jumping on a landmine an option? And then and then my friend cracked up that got me the job, and I said I was just joking about that, but I was like, I really thought about it, and I was like, I think I might actually go with Taylor Swift because I think she has quite the range, and I think with the last two records, I was like, okay, she's her writing ability I could live with. So I think I think if I had to choose, I will ask you the same question since you seem like a big Taylor Swift fan, and I already know you're a big MGK fan. So I'm posing the question to you, Michelle.
I'm just stunned because like I'm so in my own lane, like most of us are. Like this is what I like, this is what I do, da 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 da. And then you speak to other people, and like they have different likes and this and that, and it's just like, oh, you have to choose between Taylor Swift and MGK, and you're like, no, I don't want to. You're like, I don't want to choose either of them. Meanwhile, I'm like, I have a hard time choosing just because I love both of them.
Yes, I was gonna say,
It's
yeah.
so funny. Um, Honestly, right now, I would probably say I'll choose MGK. I like him a lot.
Ooh, all right. Well, if that change, well, the next time Michelle comes on, we'll have to ask her the question again and see what if her stance has changed or not. Very
You
similarly
know
to the video
why?
game question.
But also because like I listened to Taylor Swift so much growing up. Like I think I know 90% of the
Over,
lyrics to all of
yeah,
her songs.
fair
And
enough.
she's
Yeah,
got like how many albums out now? I don't even know. 8, 10? I don't know.
it's up there.
So like I've been listening to her like since I was in middle school. Whereas like MGK, I've only been listening to him like since the pandemic.
Fair enough.
And and I actually found out that I actually really like a lot of his rap songs too. I never would have listened to him as a rapper.
Fair enough.
So I feel like a lot of people are discovering his rap songs through the clout he's getting with his pop punk songs.
I would agree with that. I mean, I had known about him prior to his rap career, or not. I mean, his pop punk career,
Hmm.
um, and I had found out about him. He did a feature on a Sleeping with Sirens song like long
Yes.
ago. So that was how I first was introduced to him, and then obviously everybody, about the whole like beef with Eminem and stuff. So then he got like booted out of rap, and then obviously made it to where he's at now. So like I said, much respect to what he does currently. It might not be in my wheelhouse, but I feel like he's doing good things for the scene collectively, in terms of bringing new fans in and new listeners in. So if he continues to do that, then that helps me out because I have pop punk bands. So I'll take all the new people that he wants to send over, in that like trickle effect. So,
Yeah.
um, but the next question I have for you, Michelle, I always like to close out on this one, and I've been doing it more recently. For people who have made it through this entire interview, first of all, thank you. Secondly, what do you want people to take away from Casper, whether it be from a lyrical or musical perspective, or a combination of the two? Obviously with you fronting in, being main songwriter and singer and stuff. What do you want people to know about your band Casper and the meanings behind what you do?
That's a tricky question. You have really good questions.
Oh, thank you. I try.
I think I just want people to know that Casper is 100% authentically me. And so if you want to get to know about me and my experiences and things like that, I would say just listen to the music. And I hope that people have fun and connect to it. Like Composure is like an upbeat, energetic tune. I hope that
Yeah.
like people can put it on and put it on with your friends and like have a good time and dance and chill. So I would say if you like pop songs that have rock instrumentation and you like to hear about what a 25-year-old girl thinks about the world, then Casper's for you.
There we go. I feel like that's a very eloquent way of saying it, certainly. I think, like, within the email that I got from Abby, big shouts to her, she was talking about Composure and just how, you had mentioned in a comment here, you said Composure depicts the excitement and butterflies at the beginning of a new connection and how tricky it can be to maintain composure but not knowing if the other person likes you back. And I feel like that is, obviously very kin to relationships and how, people go about each other, certainly. And, as someone who is of the ripe age of 29, I've also experienced those things. And so I like the fact that there is just this level of connection, within the songs, and that, there is this sort of like, obviously alt and kind of like pop rock and pop punk kind of, sound akin to it. But what I've always appreciated about, the scene collectively is that there are songs that, have like an upbeat kind of like fun, happy vibe. And then the lyrics are very like personal or very like endearing or, whatever adjective you'd like to use. And I think that comes across as very genuine and very very assuring, I would say, in some ways, where where I'm like, okay, I've definitely felt like that before. And kind of reading through some of the press, I was like, okay, certainly I have felt that way at some point. And I think there's some level of it resonating with me, and I hope that people that check out Composure feel that same sort of resonating effect. So, and I'm excited to listen to other songs that are coming up and, obviously resonating with that. And, again, guys, go check out Casper. But I'll give the floor to Michelle. Perfect segue into the next point, which is where can they find out about Casper, what you have coming up in the next couple months, and anything else you'd like to plug or talk about.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah. So if you want to come along for the ride, because I'm inviting everyone to come along for the journey with me, you can find me at Casper Music NY. That's on Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else. There are a bunch of other Caspers. And so I was a little bit nervous about picking this name, but I really like it. So I'm sticking with it.
Fair enough.
So yes, that's where to find me on socials. Let's see. Composure. Yeah, Composure is my main thing right now. Trying to get it on some more playlists and the music video too that I put out yesterday.
Woo.
Trying to get people to see the video. And then I think I'm just going to keep releasing singles. I have a bunch of songs ready to go. So this Composure is just like a little taste. There's way more coming up that is really, really exciting. I feel really good about all these songs. So I just want to invite everyone to come along and do this with me.
There we go. Well, guys, again, go check out Casper. Not like the ghost, but same lane, I guess, per se. But go check out Casper again. Want to give a huge shout out to Abby. She's sending me some A1 bands, so love it. But if you enjoyed this interview, obviously I'll talk about that in a second. But go check out Michelle's collective, Casper. All of the links will be below, as well as the music video for Composure. If you're like me, you sub to the channel. Just saying. I've already subscribed. You should as well. Make sure to go follow her on all the social media so you can keep up to date when she releases new stuff. And if you enjoyed this interview, share, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. Always appreciate the support. So thank you very much for hanging out and chatting. And huge thanks to Michelle of Casper for coming on today and chatting with me.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome talking with you.